And we already have our next speaker on.
Yes.
Welcome, Sheetal. So nice to see you. Lakshmi, over to you again.
Yeah. Thank you. And good evening, everyone. I think now we are going to start our next session. It's my pleasure to introduce our speaker, Sheetal Kalra. With over 20 years of experience in the EdTech space and a strong background with companies like Samsung, Yahoo, NetApp, and Nutanix, she brings rich industry and learning insights. She is the founder of Pifinity Education Foundation, a social venture incubated at IIMB Bangalore, empowering first generation learners with career guidance and essential 21st century skills. Today, she will be speaking on how you can leverage AI for career orientation. Please join me in warmly welcoming Sheetal Kalra. Hello, Sheetal.
Hi, Lakshmi. Thank you so much. And I think I'll take it from here.
Yeah,
Let me
please,
just go
please.
ahead and okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I hope you all can see my screen.
Yes, yes, Sheetal.
Okay, sure. Somehow I think will be out of this. Okay, fair point. Fine. So I think Preeti has already covered a few nuggets, which was very much like I think more like a very much continuation from where Preeti left, and quite a few things I felt that she has covered, and maybe I'll be overemphasizing on them a few. But what I decided to do basically today while talking to all of you, since you all are participating in hackathon, how AI can be used for the career purpose, right? And Lakshmi ma'am also kind of touched upon talking about mock interviews. So we'll see different aspects in which AI can be used, and we'll try to, uncover certain myths around AI. But before we start, I think the very usual first question is, have you used AI this week? And if yes, please tell us the tools that you have used. It is a possibility that you may have answered the same questions earlier also, but this one I wanted to understand what AI tools you have used basically. Okay, so please let me know in the chat. Okay, great. ChatGPT. Okay, looks like one of the favorites. Gemini. Perplexity. Very fine, nice. Okay, Copilot. Pretty cool. Claude. Yes. And I think with this kind of we have seen most of these, being shown very, very clearly. Okay, fair point. Meta AI, interesting. Claude, yes. So kind of I can clearly see that you all have used AI, right? And a lot of tools. I think my list that I was thinking, you have covered almost everything. ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, Copilot, Claude, and even for that matter, Grok. Those who use Twitter, they must have, heard about that as well. I have another question, and I'm not sure are you prepared for it, but have you used AI intentionally? Now, question can be, what do you mean when you say AI used intentionally? So, the way I'll put it is that when you wrote your query, with at the LLM model, whichever you are using, either it's a Chat GPT or a Gemini, have you thought before writing the prompt, or was it a quick thing? The way we used to search earlier at Google, right? In that search query, we used to write anything and we used to get a lot of a long list. Somehow, knowingly or unknowingly, we have kind of continued the same style while we are writing prompts in these LLM models. So, my question to you is, how many of you have used it intentionally for their career typically? Uh, Give me a yes or a no for that matter. Have you used it? Yes. Okay. So have you used this intentionally for your career? Okay, fair point. Quite a few are saying yes. And let's see, so my whole aim will be to show you the ways in which you can use it, and then maybe you can compare yourself and say, okay, maybe I have missed this, maybe I can do more about it. So most of you are saying that yes, you have used it for your career. Now let's see, I will not say have you used it correctly or not. It's more like how can you make it even better is the attempt that I'm taking as part of this particular session. Okay, so most of you are saying yes. So let's move further in that case. So before I go on and talk about how to use AI for your career perspective, let's try to understand what AI is not. Preeti ma'am has already kind of covered that very, very well. Uh, it's not a magic or something that it knows everything. It looks like, but it will give you what you are going to give it, right? So it's very important that, and AI is not a replacement for you. You just cannot say that, let me take my project, let me ask AI to prepare that project and submit the same project. If you're doing it like this, then you are not using it correctly. So that is something which you all have to really understand today. The biggest takeaway is AI is more like a collaborator. AI knows a lot of things, but it does not also know a lot of things. And you have to understand how to use AI for your work, okay? And it is not always right. So AI is not always right. It is not a replacement for you. Then what exactly is an AI? So it's a powerful pattern matcher. You have to understand there is a lot of information in the web. And what AI has been done, and AI has been trained on all that knowledge that is there on the web, so that when you ask a query, all it goes is it looks at the pattern, the words that you have written, it goes back or what it has learned from the entire web and then try to give you the answer back. And as a result of so much learning, sometimes it makes mistakes. You must have noticed very, very clearly that under the LLM models, it's written very accurately that, don't trust every output given by an LLM. ChatGPT, Copilot, for that matter, Gemini, everybody writes this. The reason is very clear. It is so much of information, they may end up making mistakes. And that is where you, the person who is using the LLM model, the person who is giving the prompt, has to be smart enough to understand what is correct and what is not. And you must be saying, Arey, that is exactly what I'm trying to do. But yes, you have to find cues and understand which is the right information, which is not. An answer of the AI, the result, the output that you see from the AI is as good as your input. And that is another very important thing. And that is where we are saying you have to learn how to write your input properly, which is nothing but writing your prompts properly. I'm pretty sure if Preeti ma'am has covered, I'll be covering the similar format as well. But we will I'll show you certain examples related to how you can use it in your, as I've said, enhancing your career. That was the main intent of this particular session. So what is the mindset shift that I would like, all of you to have? 3 years. It's exactly 3 to 4 years before we didn't have LLM models. ChatGPT was the first one to come, and then suddenly Gemini, and gradually a lot of other tools came in, all of them that you have listed as part of this particular, in the chat box. So we were using search engines, and then we have learned how to use search engines to find out information. From search engine, where you used to find and then select, okay, this is particular web link which is giving me information which I wanted, from this kind of level of researching to a point where an LLM model or a large language model like a ChatGPT or a Gemini has become a collaborator or a thinking partner for you. But the important point to understand is the direction comes from you. Now you must be saying, I don't understand. I thought I'm going to ChatGPT for the answers, and now you're saying that I am the one who is giving the direction. Yes, you are the one. And I'll give you, I think we'll start with a simple example. So imagine there is a project being assigned to you from your college, okay? And there is a one way. What you can do is you take that particular project, give it to ChatGPT, say, prepare it for me. Now, this is not the right way of using AI. This is where it's it's everything is wrong. It's a plagiarism. You have not put in your process. What was the purpose of that project? The purpose of the project is to see how you are going to solve that problem that is given as part of the project. So then you will say, okay, I thought it is such a simple thing. There is a chat GPT. It already gives me answers. I thought, why not to ask that question? No. What is supposed to be done is you should have taken that question from from your project report. You go to ChatGPT and say, see, this is a project that has been given to me. It is supposed to be a 40-page report and it's too long. Right now, I'm not. But what I'm thinking is that for this particular project, this is the problem statement I am picking up. And this is how I plan to solve it. You become my senior, you become a professor of the university. I am a student of this place. And can you now let me know whether this approach looks good? Did you see the difference now? So what has happened is that you have basically asked ChatGPT to refine your approach to the project. And that is where it becomes a collaboration or a thinking partner. It says, yeah, see, this is the question. Looks like you are going in the right direction, but somehow I think you are missing a couple of these points. I think you should add this also. You read through it and you say, yeah, okay, looks good. I think, yeah, I missed it. Let's reframe. So my problem statement now becomes like this. So does it cover everything? Okay, let me see. Fine. For this problem statement, now since it covers these 3 points, I have to go these 4, 5 steps. I have to go this, and then I'll be able to produce the solution. Again, it goes to the LLM model. It looks at it and it says, yeah, this is how it should look like, and maybe we can, and you keep working with ChatGPT to the point where you see that, okay, this is how I'm going to solve the problem. This is how exactly ChatGPT has to be used. A very first slide, I think, kind of we have covered and uncovered a lot of things, but let's see this even more clearly. It was a very, very random example that has been given by me. We'll make it more concrete and more specific as we move forward. But are you all aligned and understanding how we are going to move forward in this particular case? Fine. So let's go ahead. First is AI for learning and skill building. There are 4 ways in which we can do this. First is explain concepts. I think this everybody of us know today that we can ask AI to explain any topic at your level. It could be any topic. It could be as complex as quantum theory to something as simple as it could be any topic for that matter. Now, when we say that, it could be the point is that how you even writing a simple prompt for this makes a huge difference. Let's take an example in this particular case. So you write, explain me binary search. Okay. What will ChatGPT do? It doesn't understand anything. It doesn't know what your context. It doesn't know. It will simply go ahead and take binary search and explain you. Versus you go ahead and tell, I am a second year BTech electronics student who is trying to learn programming now because I feel that along with electronics, I really want to be sure that I understand the basics of programming. And for that, I have started learning data structures. Now, in this particular case, I want to understand the concept of binary search. Help me understand binary search with an example, uh, with a very simple example where I can understand how to do search using this particular technique. Did you see the difference between the 2 prompts that were there? The first one says explain binary search. The second gives a proper context and understanding of where you're trying to tell at what level you are to the LLM model so that LLM model can make its output aligned with. Even this is very subjective. Let's be very honest. Telling yourself you're a second year student who comes from an electronics background gives, there is a subjectivity, there is no doubt, but it definitely is much more informed output for you as compared to what you would have asked. Imagine a 10th grader asking the same question. The student should say that I am a 10th grader and I'm trying to understand binary search. And mostly I'm planning to implement binary search using Python language. But I first want to understand the algorithm as such. So please explain me this particular algorithm. Do you see? You need to talk to the LLM models and explain them. What exactly are you looking when you're asking them to explain a concept? Fair point. That was the first. Now let's look at the second one, and that is below, summarize and research. Okay, I'm talking about this one. Now this is another very, very interesting. What suddenly has happened now is in colleges that I've noticed, and my son also is in college, and he tells that quite a number of times faculties give a lot of PDFs to read. And it's not that we don't want to read them, but sometimes we are short in time, or at least one of the things that the way you do this particular thing is you take the PDF, give it to an LLM of your choice, and tell it to summarize it for you. So imagine an 80-page PDF given to you, out of which you say summarize, and it obviously created a 5 to 7 page or 8 or 10 pages summarization for you. Then you go through it. So obviously you will take another 10-12 minutes to go through the summarization. Now imagine this scenario. So you summarized the PDF, you went through it, spent some 15 minutes, and got a fair understanding of what is covered as part of this particular PDF. But does that imply that you can replace this PDF, reading? You don't do the reading and you are good with it? Will you not read the PDF now? Answer in the chat, yes or no. So you have got a summarization from the ChatGPT or Gemini. Would you read the PDF or not? Someone says we need to read it. What about others?
Girls, please use chat box to respond, ma. Participants.
Everyone, please note I'll be asking questions. I'm like that. For in-depth understanding, yes. Okay, great. Yes, we need to read. Okay, so most of you, I think, are saying that yes, we need to read it for our understanding, which is the right point. But what I want all of you to understand is that with this, now imagine the summarization you have got, and now you go and read the PDF. Don't you think it will be faster? Don't you think your understanding will be much better? Yes. So you have to read it, but with this summarization, your understanding of this particular document will be much more detailed and much more better. This is the power. This is how you have to really see it. You cannot skip not reading the PDF. What you have done is very, very intelligently got the summary so that you got a gist of what you are supposed to read further. This is exactly how you people have to understand how to use, you know, uh, LLM models for your for your support. There are a lot of research papers, there are a lot of articles, there are videos, and sometimes you want to go through them faster. But faster, why they become faster? Because then you get the summary, and after the summary, reading them back or listening to them makes it much easier, and it even helps you make notes, right? So that is how exactly. There are cases where you can tell, ChatGPT. There are people who are very, very visual, and I'm not sure if you know that, but there are learning styles. Every student may have a different learning style. So those who are very visual students, you can go ahead and ask, these LLM models to create a mind map of a particular topic for you. And imagine, LLM model, you give a PDF, you say, this is what, can you create a mind map for me? And it will create and give it to you, and within 10 minutes, just looking at the mind map, you can understand the entire document. You can easily see the hierarchy. You can easily see what is the central concept, what are the attached secondary concepts, within the secondary concepts, what are the different topics. This is exactly how you should use ChatGPT. Okay. And not just, kind of getting your work done. It's not getting your work done, it is enhancing your learning, enhancing the way. Imagine, see, you all are in a time when you have such a strong support system in form of an LLM, which we didn't have. I don't mind telling you that we didn't have. We have to go back. We were doing everything in a very, very, conventional style, going, reading the books, making notes, making our mind maps ourselves. But today you have that support. Can you at least make sure that you're using it fully? Right? So that is your summarizing and research. Researching is a very, very important skill. If I have to talk about one of the skills that I want all of you to develop is researching. That is exactly is going to differentiate between you and any other person. If you can take a lot of information, do a thorough research on it, and then build your viewpoint of what exactly do you think about this particular information that you have and how you are going to use it. This is a differentiating factor between you and any other student. So build your research skills. Learn to analyze information that you get. Even though LLM models do, but they have their own analysis they will do. But what is the result of that analysis you are going to decide. Are you for that particular topic, or you are against? That is your decision. That ChatGPT or Gemini will not give you, or if even if it gives you, it gives their opinion. You have to create your own opinion. This is what really I want all of you to understand. You have to create your opinions about your work, build a learning path, and this is the one of the another very most powerful thing. So imagine that you are, in your second year, that from third year onwards, after that, there will be placements. And you clearly see that in next 1 year, there are 2 or 3 courses that you really want to do very, very thoroughly. And that is where you should work with AI. You say AI that, okay, see, my placements will start from sixth semester onwards or seventh semester onwards, and I have exactly 12 months or 8 months from here. And in my opinion, for my placements, these are the 3 topics. I'm good at this particular topic A, but I'm not that great in topic B and topic C. So I want to create a proper, a roadmap of how I'm going to complete these courses. So let's start with the topic which I find the most difficult. This is the topic C. And for me, help me create a clear roadmap in next 3 months. Now, this should be a combination of learning about the topic as well as couple of projects that I should do so that I have a hands-on learning. And give this prompt to AI, and AI will give you an amazing 3, 4, 5 month learning roadmap. And then you can even tell AI that, see, you have to basically nudge me so that you can find out whether I'm completing, make certain, submission levels, some milestones as part of this particular learning. See, 4 month, 3 month is a long time. Again, there's a complete possibility that you may miss. So tell AI to create learning milestones for you. That means after every 5 days, you are going to, this is your learning milestone. You should have completed this much. One submission task has to be there. So these are the ways in which you can make yourself responsible for your own learning. So you have to build your learning path. Understood? And last is, as I think this is the example that I gave in the beginning, but this is what I call as debug your thinking, where you go ahead and you say, okay, and let's take, this is an example of this hackathon, right? So you have a team of 4 or 5, and you have 2 or 3 ideas in your head, and you're not very clear what is to be done, which problem statement to pick up, even though they will share, a lot of ways in which you have to really look at this. I'm just giving you one way in which you should use LLM models to help you out. And you say, okay, I have these 3 problems, and this is the problem which I'm very passionate about. So let me discuss this problem with you. And the reason why I'm picking up this problem is this. And this is how I feel we can solve this problem. Or these are the probable ways in which we can find the solution for this problem. And now be very critical in testing whether the problem statement is strong. Be very critical in finding out whether my solution is strong or not. Tell ChatGPT, tell Gemini to be critical of your thinking process and tell you what is right and what is not wrong. This is where you are basically working with AI to tell you clearly what topics or how it really, kind of is your approach correct or not? Are you in the right direction? It is pushing you to even think harder. And that is exactly what you're supposed to do. You are not supposed to give your thinking to AI and say that, boss, solve it for me. No, it is basically, this is how I'm thinking. I have thought in these ways. Do you think I have covered everything? Do you think, have I missed any particular aspect? I'm assuming ABC. Do you think these are fair assumptions, or do I am making a wrong assumptions? Question everything about your thought process and let ChatGPT, question you critically on these particular topics. It is hard. Let me be very honest with you. Getting feedback, that to imagine from an AI tool, AI LLM, is a very, very hard stuff. But that is exactly how. Now I have a question for all of you. I just told you 4 different ways in which I have said that basically how you are going to use AI for learning and skill building. We call this is A, B, C, and D. Okay. A is explain concepts. B is summarize and research. C is build a learning path. And D is debug your thinking. You have to quickly tell me which ones you have used as of now in your while using AI. A, B, C, D, which ones you have used? So just answer in A, B, C, and D terms. All of them. Okay. All of them. Very good. Okay. Good. Good. So quite a few are saying that you are already using it, and quite a few you're saying you're using one or two ways. I would like now to make sure that you are using all these four ways in some or the other way going forward. That was the whole purpose of this particular, discussion that we had. And I think I have spent fair amount of time making sure that you understand how you're going to do this. Okay, let's move on. And now the next step, which is creating your how you can exactly use for your career prep, mock interviews, resume, cold outreach, LinkedIn profile. All these can be done with the help of AI. But then what you have to really understand is that how you are going to tailor your resume to every GD. I think this is an advice that is being given to everyone. That go ahead, look at the JD, and then compare your resume with it and then make changes. But let me tell you, this is where ethics are very important. You have to be very, very clear. AI can write your resume. AI can make changes to your resume to match the JD. But you are the one who has to take a decision. Am I writing something which I have not worked just to fit the JD? And if you are doing that, then you are on a wrong direction. And I request you, never do this. You cannot invent your experience if you haven't done it. It's okay. It's very okay that you don't have that experience. Typically, at the fresher level, nobody is expecting you to be perfect. So don't ever try to do such things. So it is important to tailor your resume. You find out few important keywords, and the ones which match you, you should add to your resume. But you just cannot change your resume, your reality, just to fit the JD or the profile. This is where you are crossing your ethics, and you should never compromise on this particular thing. Are you good with this? So we will never do that. It is important, it is smart, and I will show you how exactly to use the prompts to get your resume in place. Similarly, mock interview. Uh, this is something which a couple of my students have used, and I would like to share their experience in this particular case. So they knew which company, which JD they are getting their first interview with, and it was with senior manager or something. And they basically simulated the mock interview. Okay, so they went and they tell Gemini that, see, this is the organization, this is the interview that is supposed to happen. Help me first. They prepared the interview. So they said, can you help me understand for this particular JD? They attached the JD. What kind of questions can be asked? And Gemini gave a very, very detailed, and let me be honest with you, in these particular cases I would suggest to use Gemini over ChatGPT, and there is a reason. Gemini has the entire Google web, okay, for the information. So it will, and if you know, before LLM models, we used to go and find out the older interviews of these companies, these particular profiles of these particular companies. And we used to get a lot of information about these interviews. Gemini has direct access to this. So it will always give you much more refined answers as compared to any other LLM model. Typically for this particular one, I can vouch for that you should use Gemini. Okay. Gemini hallucinates a lot at times, so be prepared that it may end up giving you sometimes wrong information. But having said that, so you first got the list of questions, and you will be surprised to know we have tested it with 3 4 different candidates at 3 4 different kind of job roles. A good 70 to 80% interview was predicted, in the sense the list of questions that was given was very, very close to the kind of questions being asked as part of the interview. I think 15-20% difference would not be that great. And once the questions were there, you prepared, you think that you are ready before your interview, go ahead and now ask the ChatGPT or your Gemini to conduct a mock interview for you, where you say, please ask me a question. Imagine you are the senior manager of this organization. This is the JD. I'm the candidate. Take my mock interview. And do that 3 4 times. I can guarantee you there is no possibility of you not able to crack that interview in case you have done such a thorough preparation, right? So generally we find it difficult to ask humans because somebody to take an interview, we feel shy. But with LLMs, with ChatGPT or Gemini, it's become much easier because nobody is judging you. We can tell them, let me know which answer of mine is correct. What should I change? How should I approach this particular question? You can do all that. You can ask it to critically look at that, right? So this is something which we have found really helping students. One, first finding these set of questions, which comes to be very close working. And second, we found that doing a mock interview, it really increases your confidence and you are very comfortable while answering the questions during the actual interview, right? Cold outreach. Now, this is another very interesting thing. This typically we have found that, imagine you were, there are campus placements, but we know there are limited campus placements, and there are many times when you have to go out. Typically for internships, you should go search on LinkedIn and then, basically reach out to someone to help you get the referrals for a particular job. And in those cases, when you're doing it, it becomes it's a cold outreach. Either you are writing to a recruiter or to an employee working in that particular organization. In those cases, again, I'll tell you the approach. If you go to AI and say that, see, I'm trying to apply for this job, in this particular company, this employee works here, help me write an email. This is a wrong approach. Because what is going to happen is AI will give you a very, very standard email. You don't want that. You want an email which comes that somebody like you have written to a person. In that case, you should actually frame a email, whatever that comes to your mind. It's okay. It's not the greatest English. That is exactly where we are going to use ChatGPT or Gemini for. So you may say that, okay, hi, I am so and so, and I am, this is what I have worked into. I want to apply for this particular JD. I got to know that you work here. It'd be great if I can get some understanding of this particular role or the kind of organization. Can I get your 30 minutes? You give this, now give the context on top of that and give it to ChatGPT. Now ChatGPT will be able to give you an email, which is your email, not ChatGPT email. So this is the difference that you have to bring in. And lastly, LinkedIn profile, we all know LinkedIn is your face, is another resume. It's an online resume which everybody sees. Sharpen your headlines, your summaries, your project descriptions with the AI feedback. That's exactly what you're supposed to do, and that is how you're going to use it. Again, very quickly, we have first resume, second mock interview, third cold outreach, and fourth LinkedIn profile. Very quickly, tell me in the chat where all you have used AI till now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Have you used it for all four, or you have used it for few? How is it? Quickly in the chat, I'm waiting. Few, okay. Okay, fourth. Most of them, LinkedIn profile has been enhanced as of now. None. All of them. Perfect. Fair point. So few, but at least now you are getting an idea how you're going to use it. Okay. What we will do next is let's now go and to a point where we understand the prompts. Okay. So it's not magic, it's communication, which is prompt engineering. We call it as a core skill. I'm pretty sure you would have learned this in earlier as well. Let's repeat it once again, and I will say I have covered this in one of the previous session, and I have added one more, variable here this time. So it is called as craft. Okay, this is the craft framework. C is context. I think I have explained you what context is in this entire discussion we have seen. Who you are, what situation you are in. Role. What role or persona AI should play. Okay. A is the action, exactly what you want AI to do. Format. Output should be in which format? Is it a table? Is it an email? Is it a bullet? Is it a LinkedIn post? Is it a blog post? It could be anything. But what is the format of the output? And finally, the tone. There are times when you want it to be very, very formal, persuasive. Sometimes it's very humble. Sometimes it's casual. Sometimes, it's a simple language. So you have to give, sometimes you even have to give the tone. Now, we are not expecting you to use all five all the time. Let's be very clear. So it's not expected of you to use all five. All five, but there are all five required in certain scenarios for sure. Okay. So let's see and that is how we call it as 3 levels of prompting. The level 1 is basic, then you have contextual, and third is iterative. When you say basic, write me a cover letter. Now, this is where you are simply misusing AI. Write me a cover letter give nothing for you. It doesn't even understand this cover letter is for which role, for which organization, what kind of person are you? You are writing a cover letter to talk about why you should consider me as a candidate for this particular role in your organization, and you are giving a prompt like write me a cover letter. So that's so nobody of you will be at level 1 going forward after this particular session. Okay, level 2 is very clear. I'm applying for this particular role in this particular organization. This is my background. I'm attaching my resume. Can you create a cover letter for me? These are the points I would like to cover. No, I have never thought about it, but trust me, force yourself to write first 3-4 lines of that cover letter. That is what gives the personalization to your cover letter, not what you have been doing or trying to do till now. You should write 3-4 lines. I'll urge you that it makes a hell lot of difference in your output as compared to what you would have done when you said write me a cover letter, or even if you would have added role context. You're getting, so you should give, because AI should know what kind of person you are so that it can actually write in your voice. And that happens when you start showing your writing style. As I've told you, it doesn't matter your grammar is not right, you're not using the best words. That AI will do for you to an extent. But it definitely needs to know your thought process. And you have to learn to start sharing your thought process with the AI. And finally, the iterative one, where you have, the multi-turn, where you're chaining prompts. It's like you got the, so imagine you are at the contextual level, level 2. It gave you the cover letter. One is that you take that cover letter and send, and then you say, no, I think in this cover letter, you have written this particular point, which is too much. I don't think so. I am that capable. Let's remove. I think we should just talk about me being this. Okay. And now you have to understand this is the point where AI is learning about you. You'll understand, okay, I understand, I appreciate. Let me make changes to the cover letter. This is the iterative approach where you say, make change to this. Okay, change this. Now, and finally, you both come together to a point where you say, okay, this is exactly how it looks like. Or when you're trying to make change to your resume. And we'll talk about that as well. But craft framework, I'm pretty sure you may have seen this earlier, but then you will be able to, kind of use it later as well, easily for that matter. Okay. So let's see now the resume enhancer. Weak prompt, we have understood by now. Rewrite my project description. We all understand we have not given any context, no role for which particular role you are applying, what kind of what you are in reality when you're talking, trying to enhance your resume. You have just rewrite my project description and given 3 lines of your project description. No format guidance, generic bland output, could apply to anyone. Now, what is the strong prompt in this particular case? Let's see this. I'm a final year CS student updating my resume. So you have given the context, C of the context, a craft, okay? Then you say you act as a senior technical recruiter at a top tech company. That's the role you're asking AI to play for you. Now the action. What action is it supposed to rewrite this description using the STAR method with measurable impact? Now, this is something interesting. Most of the organizations, most of the recruiters now want that your project description is not like, I prepared so I developed a library management system, and what we have done is, as part of that, I implemented the borrow, return, and all indexing of the books. Right? This is, so you have created a library management system. These are the 2 points. But this is not how what they want to do. What you have done. No. What is the impact? So I created a library management system. As a result of this, there are 500 students who enrolled into this particular system. And we have seen almost like 100 books being returned and, borrowed on daily basis. or 200 books being written, whatever. This is the impact. And that is what you have to basically, understand writing your project description going forward. And that is what you have told very, very clearly to AI that this is exactly how you're supposed to give me. 3 to 4 bullet points, professional tone, ready to copy paste. F is the format, and T's you have to keep it formal, achievement focused, technical impact framework you have to use. So do you see this is a strong prompt, and you can clearly see the difference between the two. Quickly, how many of you are actually using the craft framework as of now in your prompts? Good, very good. Okay, the two of you who have said that you are using this particular, format, can you tell me, have you seen the difference in the output because of giving a detailed prompt like this than previously when you were using it? Have you seen any differences? Vast difference, absolutely. And thank you for that. That was important. It actually makes a lot of difference when you use this particular kind of a framework properly. Another one. So imagine that problem is your Python function finds a value in a sorted list. It works but times out on large test cases. So you want to understand sorting is happening, but when you are giving more than 50 values, it is time, it's taking too much time, or is it basically hanging? So your weak prompt is make my code faster. Now, what is faster? When you don't even know how AI will guess it. It may suggest unrelated changes, no explanation of why. You learn nothing. What is a strong prompt in this case? So what is your problem? Your problem statement is very clear. I have written, find a value in a sorted list. But if I'm giving a list which is more than 60 or 70 or 100, numbers, that is where the system is slowing down, or is it not working properly? So act as a senior software engineer and a DSA expert. I'm a third year student. My Python linear search times out on large sorted list. In this, my particular case, you should actually give your last sorted list number also, say 100. So after 100, 120, I've noticed it's taking too much time. Explain the inefficiency and show the optimal algorithm. Your format is basically in three parts: wide or slow, what is the better code, and can you compare ON and versus OLog n comparison. Now, those who come from computer science background can understand this particular one, but you can kind of replicate this very much in any of your problem statements basically. The purpose is pretty clear. You have to share the details, and this is going to happen only if you understand the problem statement well. Let me tell you, the weak prompts are given when you don't even understand what you're trying to ask. That is when you get the bad results also. So you have to really understand and use craft. Using craft is possible when you understand the scenario very, very well. Okay. So okay. Now, very, very quickly, that before I move on, and we are almost like close to the end of this entire session, I hear what I want all of you to quickly tell me is those who are not using, would you be making an attempt? See, this takes time. When you are writing a prompt like using craft and at least giving at least three things. So you have context, role, action to be performed, format, and the tone. Tone may not be required every time. Format, action and format can be combined into one. So at least three parameters will be required most of the times when you're writing a particular prompt. What I'm asking is that would you be trying out craft framework in future in case you are not using it? A quick yes or a no from all of you. Good. Very good. Using it already, I know that. Fair point. Perfect. So I'm glad that something new, try to use it. And as I said, you will really see a huge difference in your output going forward. When you will. And as I've said, I don't deny it takes extra 1 or 2 minutes while writing a prompt. It is a task. Uh, because giving us all the context, everything, it takes time. But good output requires you to make that effort. Okay. So your biggest edge is already in your hands. AI on the hackathon floor. Let's try to see how we can do that. So there are three things which are required as part of your hackathon. One is your ideate, correct? You have to think about an idea, a problem that you should. So generally what happens is when we talk about, problem solving, the way we look at it is in two ways. One is that first diverge, find out as many problems as you can solve. So, divergence. So during the divergence, again, AI can be used. You say, okay, we have been told hackathon, this is the area we plan to work. There are 4 areas in this particular hackathon, right? You say, I'm pretty sure that I want to work in this particular area, and these are the 2, 3 problems that we can think about. Help us, diverge some ideas. It's okay. We are thinking only 3 problems, but do you think there are any other problems that we can kind of think about solving? So diverge. Get as many ideas as possible. Okay, so once you diverge, that is one way, and then you have to converge. That means you first brainstorm many ideas and then come to the top 2, top 3, top 4 kind of a thing. And that is again, first you do it in your team. You come together and say, okay, looks like these are our top 3 ideas. Then you go back to AI and ask that, boss, help me. These are the our top 3 ideas for this particular, segment of the hackathon. What do you think about it? Which one do you, and help us, create and analyze these 3 ideas which we want to solve for. And then basically, and as I've said, AI, let AI do its analysis, but you should have done your analysis on paper for sure. What is an analysis? Simple. Writing pros and cons, writing disadvantages, advantages, writing benefits and, of a particular thing, of a particular idea. So if you can, you have to do your own analysis. The only difference should bring in is that AI should be able to tell you certain areas which you have missed while you did your analysis. And that is what you really want to use for. Never ever depend on AI for everything. You are the one who is driving the AI. You are not taking solutions from AI. AI is driving, okay, you do this problem. This is how we are going to solve it. This is exactly how you should build it. I'll build it for you. This is how you should pitch it. If that is the case, then you have not done anything. Then the AI has done, participated in the hackathon. We don't want you to do that. We want you to say that, okay, this is the problem statement I'm thinking. This, in my opinion, considering these 3 problem statements, the first and the second is the one which we're really very keen on solving. But at this moment, we have time only for one. Help us decide one of these. And this is our analysis. And you do your analysis on a Word document, take a PDF, give it to AI and say, this is our analysis. Help us decide which one we should go for. But ultimately, it's your decision finally. So that's the first stage, which is ideate. Let's go to the second, build. Build is one of the stages where you definitely should use AI because that is exactly what AI is supposed to do as a real-time coding partner. Okay. So you should basically build alongside the AI. I think Claude is one of the finest for this particular purpose. So make sure that each one of you, if has not used Claude, as part of this hackathon, one of the challenges is you're going to use Claude AI, okay, for developing, building basically. Once you have built, debugged, you have seen that everything is working fine. The last thing which everybody has to do is basically pitch. And do you know what is the hardest part for the pitching is? Imagine that you have taken a month or 15 days, 20 days, a month to decide on a problem and finding the solution. You will get just 5 minutes to talk about it. So that is very hard. You thought that I should get 20, 25 minutes. I want to talk about everything. How I got this idea, what we have researched, you know, my entire research I would like to put in, then how we have built the solution. I want to do the demo of this entire thing completely end to end. No, they don't have time. They'll give you hardly 5 or 10 minutes. And that is where your pitching has to be very structured, very sharp. And again, you are not going to tell to create your pitch. You will first create your own pitch. You can ask, okay, we have a pitch, to give us 5 or 6 things that we should cover as part of our pitch. So I will give you, okay, these are the 5, 6 areas you should cover. Based on that, write your pitch, write your document, create your PPT, and then go back and ask AI now, be, act as a skeptical judge, or, be very critical and tell us what part work in our pitch, what doesn't, what is the weakest part. Be very critical, ask very hard questions from this pitch, so that you are prepared to be able to answer the questions if you stand there and give your pitch if somebody asks you. So these will be the 3 different areas, and you are going to use AI in all these 3 if possible. Otherwise, now my question is very simple for you. Let us know which, if you have to use AI for one of these only, which one will you pick and choose between ideate, build, and pitch? If you are, suppose, imagine, I'm putting a constraint, imaginary constraint, you can use AI for only one of these. Which one will you use? So for which you will use the AI? Is it for the ideate or build or pitch? Quickly in your chat boxes. Okay, build, ideate. Okay. Okay. In my opinion, by default, all of you will use it for build for sure. Okay. Ideate, it depends upon. It depends upon how strongly you're thinking about your. And the next thing that I would like you to use AI is basically for pitching as well. So build, everyone is going to use it for sure without any questions and doubt. And second, which I would like all of you to use for sure, is pitching, because you will find it very difficult. Trust me, I have participated in so many pitching competitions and I have found it so hard to speak in 5 minutes my idea, because I think there are so many things I really want to talk about. But then, and at that time when we didn't used to have these AI models and everything, I used to have mentors. I used to sit with them and ask them, help me find out way in which I can give it in just 5 or 7 minutes. I still remember at NSRCL IM Bangalore, they have asked us to do a pitch in 3 minutes. Imagine your entire idea, what you want to create a, your organization on, everything within 3 minutes. Yes, this has happened and we have to. Today it's easier, but even then, see, having AI is one part of the game. Ultimately, it is you who will be taking the final decision of what is to be included, what is not to be included. Right? AI can help you to a point. But you and your team are the ones who will be taking the final decision. Okay? So I think we have come to the end of this particular session now. So I will not ask you to write, a prompt right now in your notes app. I believe that you know that very well. So we'll not do that, this particular challenge. But this is what I really want you to remember, all of you. So from this point onwards, please prompt intentionally. Don't just ask, give context. Use the craft framework very, very carefully. As I've told, not all 5 things to be given every time, but at least 2 or 3 are necessary most of the times. Okay. Second, whenever you get your first output, don't accept just like that. Treat AI like a conversation. It's not a search bar. You push back, you refine, you redirect, you tell them, okay, no, I think this needs to be changed. The second answer is almost always better. Third, keep working with AI till you get the perfect pitch, the perfect answer, the perfect idea, right? Even the perfect code for that matter. So iterate, don't accept. And finally, build in public. This is something which most of you are not doing right now. And I know one of the reasons is we don't feel confident. But share what you're building with AI on LinkedIn, GitHub, anywhere. It is a differentiator right now. Do a lot of work on AI and keep writing about it in any way possible. Okay. So these three things each one of you will remember. Prompt intentionally from this point onwards. You are going to iterate, not accept the first answer by the LLM. And finally, you will talk about what you are building and how you are using it. Typically, each one of you who is participating in this hackathon is going to write a small one LinkedIn post once this hackathon is completed about your experience. That is how everybody is going to get to know that, okay, you have participated in this particular hackathon. And, tag the right set of people. This is how you are creating your social media presence. This is exactly how you're telling the world the amazing work that you all are doing by participating in this particular hackathon, right? So these are the 3 points that I want all of you to start from today. And this kind of brings me us to the end of this particular session. So if you have any questions, go ahead and ask me.
Thank you so much, Preeti. Sorry, Sheetal, it was so wonderful. Let's just wait for a couple of minutes if anybody has any questions. Any questions for Sheetal? It was extremely interactive and very, very engaging session. I think, Sheetal, I will remember craft framework. I mean, though theoretically I knew about it, the way you very succinctly put it together in the context, precisely, proves the point that AI, when you give the context better, right, that's where it will help you better. So in fact, I would like to urge all our participants today to this hackathon is about AI, you leveraging AI, but how intelligently you leverage it, what context you give, what role you define, what action you want them to perform. It's very, very, very important, right? And you ultimately, I think what Sheetal said, absolutely, important aspect is add your personality bit to it, right? Without AI, it's there as your assistant. Don't make your assistant overrule you. You have to overpower and overrule your assistant, right? So that's what we would like to see in upcoming days. Thank you so much, Sheetal. Personally, I enjoyed the entire session. Lakshmi, over to you.
Yes, yes, Sheetal. So yeah, me too enjoyed the session. I hope our girls also enjoyed the session, So what we are taking from here is like the three, prompt intentionally. Yes, you have to do that. That's the main thing here. When you submit the idea, you don't go with AI, in the first, at least, take it as a conversation and give your prompt. If you're not getting the correct one, please improvise, till you get the result. And then build it in public. So just share it in LinkedIn. As she said, we always encourage our girls also to do the same thing. Whenever you're, finishing a course, you just put it in LinkedIn. They let them know, let the world know. So it's for all the participants. Let the world know. So please share after once you finish it. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sheetal.
There are a couple of questions, I think.
Questions, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we
Let's
can
take
take
it.
that. Yeah, I
Yes,
just
let's.
noticed there are two questions. One is that which is the best platform? That will be a hard question to answer. But
Yeah.
then one of the question is what are the AI tools to make pitch compressed into 5 minutes? So I'll answer both of them one by one. When you say AI tools to make the pitch compressed into 5 minutes, if you ask me, there are top three right now in my head. One is definitely your ChatGPT. The second is your Gemini, and third is the Claude. Okay, these are the ones which we are using at this moment. They're quite similar, but the current state, if I ask you, and this may change within a month. The problem is the LLM models are really, learning fast and they are being changed on daily basis. Claude is doing very, very well. So between Claude and Gemini, I would say so choose any one of these. from the best platform perspective also, and even pitching perspective also. Claude is doing pretty well at the moment. So between Claude and Gemini, I can vouch that you can use either of them more than ChatGPT at this moment, because somehow ChatGPT has lagged behind considering the level of advances that are being done by these two organizations at the moment. So I hope I have answered both the questions at this moment. Yeah.
Yeah, there's one more last question. ChatGPT also has an option of search
Yeah.
the web. Is that competent enough as equivalent to Gemini?
I will still not say, because you have to understand that ultimately Gemini has been prepared by Google. So Google has definitely given a bigger index of web pages to Gemini as compared to ChatGPT. So any day Gemini will have an edge over it. Yeah. Okay, in LinkedIn, what are the basic things we must have it in? So see, basically your summary. Right now you are a fresher, so not much, but at least your intention of what kind of roles you'll want to look for. Any internship experiences, any certification courses that you would have done, something similar to what you have on resume. It should be very, very clearly visible on your LinkedIn as well. So these three, four things, and if you can get a recommendation from your faculties or people you have worked with, four things. So these three, four things: your certifications, your work experience, your projects, plus your summary and a recommendation. These 4 or 5 things are a must if you can get that. Yeah.
Yeah, and absolutely. And I can't forget what Sheetal said in the craft as a tone. While, any of AI engines can give you inputs, nobody can replace your own tone. Right? So it's very, very important to kind of have your own tone in anything that you're producing, right? Whether it is your resume, whether it's a LinkedIn profile, solution you are doing. And this is precisely, we will be also filtering you on, right? That what is your originality, what is your original tone, what is your original thinking that you have brought in, right? And not as a, copy paste from what AI is recommending. So please focus, and there's nothing right and wrong. Both Preeti and Sheetal have been saying there's nothing right and wrong. You have to take what AI is providing you and build your own thinking on it. I think that's the, in a nutshell, summary of today's session. So thank you so much, Sheetal.
Thank you,
Lakshmi.
everyone.
And the recording of this session will be published on our YouTube channel. You will get a link to it. So please spread a word within your friend circles, people who could not attend today, to refer to this so that they don't miss out. Thank you so much. And tomorrow we are going to have a session on how do we build problem statement, right? How are you going? There is a milestone coming up on idea submission on April 8th. But how do you frame your problems? What do you need to do? What approach will you take? That we are going to learn tomorrow. See you all tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. And please spread a word again in your friend circles to attend tomorrow's session. With that, good evening and have a wonderful evening, all of you. Thank you, Sheetal.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone. Bye, everyone. And all the best to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.